Welcome to Making Beats with Corella Sounds. So tonight we're going to be working on a beat. I like to just kind of show y'all how I get in the groove of where some of these ideas come from. So what we're going to be doing right now is making a new file in Logic. And I'm thinking, so I always want to start with a software instrument, obviously, for those that already kind of have an idea of what I'm referring to. And let's see what sounds we're working with today, okay? Or tonight. Okay, so I'm getting like super low vibes. Let's change what key this is in. Very like earthy sound, like deep sound. So we want to use a minor scale. So let's try C. Okay, that actually already sounded pretty cool. What I like to do is I put the metronome on. Some people probably are like, nah, I don't really need the metronome, but I mean, I'm still, in the process of wanting to learn a little more, so. Cool, so we just made our melody. And what I'm doing right now is quantizing to make sure that this first note hits. Because if you're off track or if you're off the scale, then you'll miss that note in some of these programs. So, turn this metronome off, make sure everything sounds good and clear. And what we're going to end up doing is using that whole thing. And so now we're going to go on to the next instrument. So this one is called Chime Vibe. What I personally like to do as well is loop my whichever melody I want to use, and I loop it for long enough to where I can be able to hear the start to the finish, number one, and number two, to be able to see what the other sounds are going to sound like, along the way. And Logic just uploaded some new sounds to their program, so I'm really excited about that. So that one was more like they call it a vibe instrument. So it's like a mallet, kind of like a mallet, but this one's an 80s chime. So it's kind of reminds you of like some sort of like old school bell or something of that nature. So what we want to add in next, what I was hearing next, is actually a shaker. It's just part of the drums. Let's see. Let's start it from the beginning. Alright, so it's rather slow, so maybe if I up this tempo a little bit, it'll make it a little more fun to create. Alright, let's try it again. So that was pretty dope. Alright, so we're gonna record that. That was all I needed for that. And what I'm doing right now again is quantizing that shaker. But when you're using this on a smaller scale, then you're gonna wanna have that loop long enough to where you can be able to hear what it's going to sound like consistently. So yeah, it's just looping. Let's just start it over. So this one sounds right enough? Let's hope so. Okay, so for this, we're gonna put the metronome back on actually. All right, let's go for it. So this is the kick. See, that's the other snare. So this one sounds a little more like 90-ish bounce. So we're gonna use that one. You know what I'd like to do actually sometimes? I like to separate all my drums whenever I'm actually making them in the program. So we're gonna do one track for the kick only. All right, let's see how we feel. What I'm actually going to do is take out that shaker and redo the shaker now that I have the kick and the snare in there, so then we can see how the shaker actually fits. I kind of liked that pattern, but let's see what other patterns we can work with. So that was all I needed for that, because it's going to be a consistent just snap, snap. It's just like so consistent. That snare is so consistent, so we're only gonna use it. We're only gonna make a certain amount of that, and then we're gonna go on and loop it. We're gonna quantize it, loop it, and then the drum pattern, even though the kick pattern is a whole bar, it'll work because of how consistent that snare is. So let's see what it sounds like, and then we'll go back to the shaker. I'm hearing, because you don't want them to overlap. That's the reason why I'm doing this. You don't want too many sounds to overlap, too many of the drum patterns to overlap each other, because then you can't really hear what the drums add, or the groove is supposed to be like. So let's see. See, that's better. Now we know the vibe. Just use that, bring that back to 4, and then, all right, now let's see. Don't forget to quantize if you have to. Makes it so much cleaner. All right, now we can go into adding the hi-hat. Quantize that, and I'm probably gonna have to change some of that velocity in there. See, what I'm doing right now is seeing what all sounds of these hi-hats I want to use. It can be a little time consuming. the notes so that they touch each other, so that it'll flow better. So let's see what this sounds like. Take off that. We don't have to do that. Plain and simple. Let's keep it plain and simple. And then we're going to quantize it. So we're going to get rid of that other one. It was cool, but it's too much going on. And the beat has been made. Now we're going to structure it and organize it and make it come out to a whole finished product. So yeah, that's pretty much my piece on making beats with Corella Sound.